Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. And in this video, we're going to find out how you can invest in top projects that are about to launch with no investment whatsoever. Please follow me on Twitter, join my official Telegram announcements channel. Also, please follow me on BitTube.video. You can also follow me on Odyssey. These are both censorship-resistant platforms, and every now and then I am going to post a video which isn't going to be on YouTube.
Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
Hey, Edward, thank you so much for making yourself available. You are the founder of blockdeskventures.io, and I'll have the links in the description below. So your project allows people to invest in crypto without investing anything in crypto. Is that right?
That is correct. We're essentially a launch pad, but what our USP is that we don't have our own crypto asset. So as you know, there's so many launch pads now, and you need to hold a lot of their tokens, sometimes hundreds of thousands, and then you only get to invest. With us, you don't need to hold any token.
Okay, well, we'll come to that. Do you want to say a little bit about yourself and how you got into the crypto space and what you do?
For sure. Well, me and you have been talking for a while, and I started around maybe 6 years ago, and I had my own YouTube channel. I started a blog, and then I progressed from that, and then I started working more directly with projects. And for the past, I would say 5 or 4 years or so, I've been focusing primarily on business development. So I've been helping projects go from inception to launch and beyond. And it was just a natural move for me to move into to create a VC company, basically. So we're a strategic investor slash venture capitalist. And most of the stuff that my clients need when we invest in them is all the experience I've learned. So connections, business development, marketing, community building. So that's what we are able to offer at Blockdesk Ventures. We're able to offer my experience and our community also, and now funding, because now we are a VC company.
Right. Okay. So this sounds like one of those too good to be true. I give you no money, and then I get a lot of money. and in a way, that kind of happens in crypto anyway, with airdrops.
It does. It really does. Especially with some of the X's we've seen in this bull run. Maybe not now. It's you're getting 10x, 5x, but there were 100 X's. One of our first investments was actually CardStarter, which is a Cardano focused launchpad. Mm-hmm. And some of the people who got involved was our community. Now they're one of the founding members. They invested $200 and they made a 400x on that within the first couple of months. So that was basically like the beginning.
Sorry, hold on. $200 times 400 is what, 800,000?
Yeah, you can work it out for yourself. And this is on our portfolio. You can see that we invested in them, and it's all confirmed. And there's other projects which have done pretty similar. Obviously, 400x was our best, mm-hmm. But this was at the beginning of the bull run as well. So I'm not saying this happens every day, but it happened.
But even 200, put in $200 and double it, or like you said, 10x, $2,000. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, it's not. Obviously, there's vestings. When you invest in early stages, you get a vesting period. So you get a release of 10% or 20% per month. So the agreement there was 5 months vesting, but it's already been 5 months since then. So we have cashed out, and the other people invested. So you're right. That sounds too good to be true, but let me just break it down for you. Traditional launch pads, what we have is that you need to buy their token, and then you stake it, or you provide liquidity and you lock it up. Basically, the basis, you lock up their token, and depending on how much of the token you lock up, it enters you into a tier. So you can, the usual, there's like a 6 or 7 or 9 tier structure. So the first 3 tiers are lottery, and then the next 3 to 9 is guaranteed allocations. So for example, CardStarter now, you need around $35,000 just in their token in order to get a guaranteed allocation, which is like $100. So you can invest $100 worth into each project, hoping that obviously it will be good. Yes, their projects are great, but if you're investing 35 grand, which is just being locked up, and then getting $100 worth of investment per project, it's going to take a long time for you to make that 35 grand back.
Yeah, well, that sounds like the sort of returns you get in the non-blockchain financial sector, right?
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
would I bother?
Exactly, exactly. They're like, look, their projects are doing good. They're doing 10x, 20x, 30x. So, and it's not like you get one project a month. They have like, two a week. So it's still a valuable investment, and it still can work. But especially with the Ethereum fees now, it's illogical because it costs you more to interact with the contract than your investment itself, than the $100. I've just tried to send USDC and it was $97, and that's just sending it. So what we try to do at Blockdesk Ventures is we actually offer the projects the same thing. We offer them a community. We offer them our experience. And what the community in Blockdesk Ventures have to do is specific tasks. So we say, look, you do some social media tasks like retweeting, you write an article for us, you do a video for us. And for that, you get to invest into these projects with us. So it's not like we're going out and saying, hey, we have a project, you can invest in this. We invest into the project ourselves, and then we give some of the allocation that we decide is left over for our community to perform those tasks. So we actually get something out of it because we get a sales point to the potential projects we want to invest in. Because if I approach a project and I say, hey, we want to invest this much money into you, they're going to say, what can you give us? We're not going to get every project we want. And this is what we use the community for, is we use them for the social media tasks, for the marketing, essentially. And for that, they get some allocations and they get a chance to invest into these projects that, well, no average Joe can, basically, especially at that stage, especially in the strategic investors round or the pre-sale round. So that's what we built.
So let me make sure I got this right. So the way that these launch pads work now, there's tiered structures. If you want to get anything of a decent sort of return, you have to lock in a lot of money to get a decent return. So then what you do is that you go in at let's just say a top tier level because you've got the funding.
Yes.
And then you share that out on behalf of people who become part of the community for Blockdesk Ventures. And what they do is they do things like tweet out, do videos, promote it however they do on their social media channels. And then for that time investment, that energy investment, you give them a share of the return.
And then we allow them to invest into the project. So they invest directly with the project.
Okay.
So we don't give them no shares of the return. So let's say we get an allocation of $50,000, for example. We'll set aside $5,000 for our community. And let's say we'll say each community member can invest $100, for example.
Yeah.
So they can invest directly to the project $100. But to do that, they must do these tasks. So once these tasks are approved, we enter them into a new Telegram group in which they fill out a form, they send the money to the project directly, and then they they're invested into that project. So whatever the agreement is, for example, the usual case is like a 1-year vesting. Each month they get 8-point-something%. So for that $100, they get, if the token is like 10 cents, they'll get 1,000 tokens, and then they'll get 8-point-something% each month of those tokens directly into their wallet. So that's just how any strategic round or private round investment works, and that's the deal we get as well. Obviously, their share of the allocation is smaller because the amount of work that we put in, and because we are the VC company, we'll take a much larger slice of it.
Right.
But for
they're coming in at the top level, at whatever level, then a big player would be coming in at.
We're the strategic seed round, so we usually get the best price, and we are there before it even touches the market. Well, we're always there before it touches the market. We wouldn't invest if it's already launched on the market. It's as simple as that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then where do you get your money from to invest?
Well, from our past investments, of course. So I personally have been working in business development, and then I started investing. And I started building a community. So we got 4 founders and myself, and we put some money together into Card Starter, and that sort of kicked things off for us. And then we made other investments from those profits, and then we started building a community. So right now we obviously got like a savings, like a multi-signature wallet. This is what most projects will use. We've got a multi-sig wallet which has funds inside it, and whenever we find a project that's suitable, we'll invest. And then the tokens which are exchanged for our investment go into the multi-sig wallet.
Right.
And then we sell them at whichever time we think is suitable to make another investment, or we think it's hit the top. Nobody knows when to sell, but that's the hard decision.
Yes. So so it sounds like you're self-funded.
Of course.
Like the project is self-funded. How do you assess project? How do you know it isn't a sham or a scam?
Great question. This is probably the hardest part of the job, and obviously because we're getting other people involved, this is where it becomes difficult for us, because saying, "Hey, we got a great project," obviously we're not forcing anyone to invest, but even though people invest with us, it's still a bit on our head. So this is where my experience and the people I work with, our experience comes in. Obviously, we have a structure of how we would assess these projects. We would start obviously from the basics like white paper, team, etc. Then we would obviously jump on a call with them. So we'll see them face to face, like we're speaking now on the Zoom call. We'll do some background checks because I have a lot of connections within the industry. And to be frank with you, most of the projects that launch, they're launched by the same people. So there's many projects in this industry which are managed, by the same, whales, I would say. So the connections are a very big part of it, and knowing those people is what really helps. There's not really a secret sauce. There's not a secret sauce to this, unfortunately. It's just general knowledge and experience, and that's what And obviously, there's a bit of gambling, because the stage we're investing in is they're getting funds from us to build their idea. It's not like they have, let's say, for example, like in gaming now, they don't have a game and say, give us money. They have nothing and they say, give us money. So we are taking really big risks, especially with the amount of money, the team and I are investing. So it's there is a lot of risk involved.
Edward, that's really important that you say that, because there are no guarantees, and
Yes.
startups fail. Startups can be fraudulent, so people shouldn't put in any more than they can afford to lose. And yes, there's high risk, and there's the potential for high reward.
Yes.
Now,
exactly.
Is there a particular sort of project that you favor, a particular ecosystem? Because you mentioned Starter. Do you just go for Cardano assets, or do you go for Polkadot, or everywhere?
That's a great question. Cardano has been on my radar personally for quite a while. In my opinion, it will flip ETH, but from the recent news, I don't know if you've seen, there's been some issues with the smart contracts, and many people are finding flaws in it.
Mm.
I know Charles Hodkins, he replied to this and said, no, you're wrong. But how many times has the Cardano smart contracts launch been delayed? It's the same with Ethereum. So to briefly answer your question, I'm looking in Solana, because that's one of the projects that we actually invested in. We invested in the DEX called HydroSwap, and I think that's going to perform pretty well. And Cardano, of course. Ethereum is just, I don't know what's your thoughts on Ethereum, but it's just
gas fees aren't high enough. I want to pay $1,000 per track to move
Exactly.
$5 of ETH. It's not enough.
It's not enough. Like I told you before the call, I was paying $108 just to send some USDC. So it's ridiculous. And from what I understand, Ethereum, it's a multi-stage to proof of stake, and the final stage, which will actually make it proof of stake, is still in research. It's still in research. So that means that they don't even know how to fully update it to proof of stake. So we are potentially going to be stuck here for a while. And looking at Solana and Cardano, those projects are going to be here much sooner, and they're much better.
Yeah, and there's other ones as well. You got the layer 2 solutions like Matic and now Polygon, and then also I'm covering or connected to the Cosmos, Cosmos ecosystem. That's just unbelievable.
I know the developer, actually. I've been speaking to the developer of that, well, one of the developers, and he was really going like crazy about it. So I agree. Cosmos is one you should be looking out for, but it is not in the spotlight at the moment. So maybe a dark horse.
Yeah. Well, people should subscribe to my channel, because I do cover Cosmos projects, and I mean they're fast, inter-block communication. The transaction fees are teeny weeny, very simple, easy to use. So, and they have now, I think, 3 dexes, with more coming online. So there's those ecosystems, plus also, I'm connected to the Komodo project. I think Komodo is great. So what if somebody were to come to you and say, hey, listen, have a look at this one. We think this is really great. What are the criteria? Would you look at it? Because, you'll get people with all sorts of ideas coming up to you, say, what about this one? What about this one? What about this one? How do you deal with that?
Are you talking about smart contract platforms
Smart
or?
contract platforms or any projects? Have a look at this, have a look at that. Is there any sort of referral incentive? How do you deal with all of that?
Like in the group, in the Block Desk Ventures Telegram group, our community always does this, but I always try to encourage people to come forward with me with their own opinions, because
Hmm.
it's good to hear other people's thoughts on the project first. So to answer your question, is I never take my own thoughts on board only. So I listen to other people's opinions, because me personally, I'm not a tech savvy individual. So I've got other people who focus on tech, who do audits, and they would explain to me, okay, this is like a safe blockchain or not. But for me personally, I would look at the actual utility of the token and how many dApps are on it. So if we're looking at a smart contracts platform like Ethereum or Cosmos or Solana, if you look at the amount of dApps being developed, that's where you're going to see, the value in the actual coin itself. So how many tokens are on there, and are those tokens true utility tokens? Is it proof of stake? So, for example, if you look at the Cardano ecosystem, the amount of projects being developed on it now is insane. It's crazy. And so Solana, it's absolutely insane. There's more projects, I think, more quality projects that are going to be on there the moment they fully launch than on Ethereum. And this
Right.
is the honest truth.
Okay.
So yeah.
Is it only you're looking for pre-launch projects, or
Yeah.
would you invest in something that's already launched?
No.
No. Okay.
Because
Why?
the thing is, as a strategic investor, our goal is to offer our community, our experience for you to launch. Because once you've launched, our experience isn't really based on after your launch. It's more about before. So it's about getting you to a stage where you can build the community, you can make the right connections, and you can develop as a project. And all my experience from my business development days, that's where it comes in. So, and alongside that, projects after launch, they've already had their momentum, so they're more long term. So this is the way I've always seen cryptocurrencies. Before launch, it's a gamble, but there's a big risk and high reward. Once it's launched, if you're buying anything that's launched, you're gonna have to hold it for a long time. There's no other way around it. You're gonna have to hold. If you're buying Bitcoin now, it's going to go to, let's say, 100K this year. You're going to make a 2x. That's not worth it. That's not worth it being. I wouldn't wake up for a 2x. Do you understand? So, like personally, I don't
Not in
even hold
blockchain. That's
anything.
very, very slow. Perhaps in
Yeah,
the fiat world, oh my God, double my money.
yeah, that's right. I don't hold. I hold zero Bitcoin. It makes no sense to me in the business sense.
Right.
I invest in early projects. I help them launch. I help them, during the first year or two while my vesting is there, and then I move on to the next one. So, and that's what makes it make sense on a business sense to me. Obviously, for others, it makes sense to buy Bitcoin and then sell it when it goes up, and then buy it when it goes down, and that works for people.
Okay.
But our model is just a bit different.
Okay. Now, is there any sort of service that you offer where I say, okay, here's my money, do with it what you will, just give me the returns. You choose the projects.
No, because that's illegal. We can't hold people's money, so we let them invest into the project directly, but we don't really play with people's money, and that's illegal. So no way. I'm not financial advisor, as we all say, and I know people are bored of this phrase, but neither is Block Desk Ventures. We don't financially advise people to invest in our projects. We invest in ourselves, and we give you the opportunity to do that. If you want to, you can choose to. That's it. We don't say this is a project. If you invest, it's going to do great. We don't even need you to invest,
Right. I got it. And
because
then the other
we
risk.
already invested. I'm the investor. I've already invested in the project. I'm going to get my X's anyway without anyone else getting involved.
Okay. And the other thing about that, apart from it being illegal, is then there's no counterparty risk if I'm doing it. Because you say you've invested in this project,
Yeah.
and then you say, look, if you want to put some money in, this is what you do, and then
Yeah.
I do it off my own back, my
Yeah.
keys, my crypto. There's no
Yeah.
like handing it over
Yeah.
to you and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And also
Because
my responsibility.
It's you use your wallet, you send it to the project, and they send you your vesting. So we just give you the opportunity, and we ask you to do something for it. But once again, that's the beauty of what I think of what we built here, is that we don't need people to invest with us, and we invest ourselves. So that just proves that if we're putting a lot of money into a project, that means we've done the research and we're confident about it.
Right. Now, how
And
do
I
I
think that's
know?
what people.
how do I know that you've actually put the money in, that you're not doing some deal in the background with the project and saying, hey, listen, we'll make like we're putting money in?
Yeah, so these projects will announce us as a strategic investor, so it's official. I don't think the projects we invest in, nobody will ever ask that question. So yeah, I do know. I don't even know how to answer that
Well,
because
let me ask. Well, you use you don't use Pirate Chain to invest, right? You're
no,
using
no.
you're using Cardano and ETH or something like that, I imagine.
It's you. Most projects, like 99% of the projects right now, they take USDC or USDT ERC20. So it doesn't matter what network they're based on; they'll still take ERC20 stablecoins because those are the easiest to cash out and to hire developers pay for whatever they need to pay. So the funding is generated through that. The address, the addresses we send to, they're all open, so there's nothing closed about it. People can do the research and find that that project received the money from us.
Right.
So yeah, there's
Okay,
nothing
that's
really
good.
hidden. Yeah.
That's good. And then now I understand you've got a main Telegram group, which is
hmm
open for everybody, and then you've got Telegram groups for the different projects or investors. Is that right?
Yeah. So we got three tiers. We got the founders tier, we got the gunslingers, and then we got the main investors chat. So people can move up the tiers. So in the investors chat, they have to perform tasks, and then the gunslingers, they have to manage the community, but they get guaranteed allocations. So that's the difference between. And obviously, the founders tiers is when you get a bit more involved, and people can move up these tiers. Obviously, the progress is much slower because it's all free. So we do need people to input value. But they can move up. And then obviously every time there is a project, we'll create a new Telegram group so we can focus on the investment just for that project so the other groups don't get cluttered. But those investment groups get deleted after it's all complete, basically.
Right. Okay. And then what sort of projects have you got coming up?
So we currently, obviously, I wouldn't say what's coming up, but we're focusing on gaming projects. I know gaming is huge at the moment, and everyone in our community has really asked for some. We had some offers, but I wasn't really happy because what I'm seeing at the moment is because gaming is so hyped. There's a lot of projects which are trying to gather money, and it's so easy. There's a lot of stupid money in this industry, so we're taking our time, finding the right gaming project. But that's all I can say. There's a gaming project that we're focusing on, and hopefully within the next month or two, we're gonna have it.
Right. And what have you got currently available that people can put money in at time?
These when the deals come in, they finish in a day basically. So right
Really?
now there's nothing, but once or twice a month we have a deal that comes in. We share it. We make a YouTube video, a post, so people can understand it better, and then they can make their own decisions. So we don't. The point is that we don't. Like I said, we don't have our own tokens, so we're not obliged to really deliver. We just offer these opportunities to people who want to be involved. So we don't have to give every week. If you invested 100K, you would expect us to give you projects every week. But
Right.
what we focus on is quality instead of quantity. So it's as simple as that.
Very good. So it'd be smart for somebody to be to follow you on Twitter and to join the main Telegram group so they can keep updated.
100%. Yeah, we got an announcement channel that we just opened a day ago. But the main place is obviously the investors group. Hopefully, you'll leave it down below. So
No,
people
I
can
will.
join.
Of course. Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. Of course.
And then from there, you just get to know the people in the community. You can obviously speak to me and the co-founders, and just get a better feel of what we do.
Yep. Now you say it ends in a day. How come? Is that because there's so much interest or it's time
Yeah,
limited?
of course. And also one of the main reasons is because deals at that level, they fly quick. If you're investing on a strategic or pre-sale round, there's maybe like 50 VCs which are looking to invest. So let's say if I speak to the project on Zoom and we agree verbally and we're happy to proceed, if I take a week to complete the transfer, do all the documents, that deal's gone. So when we get a project, we say to our community, okay, you've got 3 days to do this. In 4 days, we'll post the group. Whoever's done it correct and who has won the allocations, we'll invite you to the group, and then you send the funds to the project basically. So that way the deal is locked up. The contracts are signed, and then we can move on to the next one. So it has to be quick when you're working on that level.
Right. Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. All right. Well, Edward, is there anything else you want to let us know? Anything we haven't covered?
I think the main thing is that I really want to encourage people to join because we're trying to grow this community part. We're really good at finding the deals and the business development, but we want to grow the community and offer more people this opportunity and just to spread the word about business development. Desk Ventures.
Yes. Yes.
Mixing up
Yes.
my words.
Well, no,
Speaking too fast, but yeah.
I think it sounds like a great opportunity because you and your team do all the due diligence and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I get access to the sorts of investments that I wouldn't ordinarily get access to because they'd be gone by the time they reach me.
Yes.
And then I can put in no more than I'm willing to lose. I could put in a minimum amount. I put in a $50 or $100 and it goes to 10x or 100x. I'm happy. That will do me very, very nicely. And then I can keep compounding that. So that sounds really, really great. I will have all the links in the description below. If anybody wants to know or they want to get involved, go join the Telegram group, follow them on Twitter, check it out, ask any questions that you have. And Edward, thank you so much. And please do invite yourself back on.
For sure.
So you can keep us updated. Between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with crypto profits. This is Crypto Rich and Crypto Edward signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.